Hello and welcome to the Cambridge Science Festival. In this video you'll learn all about bacteria and sepsis. We will follow the journey of a bacteria to discover how a simple infection can progress to sepsis, which is a life-threatening condition. We'll also find out how scientists identify bacteria so that doctors can treat infections. Bacteria are tiny little organisms which live all around us. They are sometimes known as germs or bugs and most of the time are completely harmless. You might be surprised to discover that you will find bacteria in every room of the house. In the kitchen, in the living room, in the bathroom, in your bedroom, and in the garden. But how do we know bacteria are actually there? To find them, scientists can grow bacteria in a laboratory. Let's see how they do it. We start by swabbing objects with special cotton buds. The cotton bud picks up some of the bacteria, and using special techniques we can grow the bacteria so we can see them. Here we can see what happens in the lab. The swabs are gently rubbed over the surface of a special substance which contains all the nutrients the bacteria need to grow. We then wait for a few days to see what's grown. Let's have a look at what grew from the swabs we took earlier. We found all sorts of bacteria from all the objects we swabbed. It's not surprising to find lots of bacteria in the mud on the bottom of our boots, but we always think that the sink and fridge would be clean, so that's perhaps a surprise. Now, even though we are surrounded by bacteria, only about 1% of these will cause us to become ill. Washing your hands is the best way to stop this from happening. Let's meet some children who are going to remind us what we have learnt so far.
Bacteria are everywhere.
We can detect bacteria by growing them on special plates.
Wash your hands!
Meet Streptococcus. He's a bacteria that can cause tonsillitis. He starts by clinging onto our tonsils with special proteins called adhesins. These are a bit like claws. Once Streptococcus has infected our tonsils, our body has an army of white blood cells and chemicals called the immune system, which comes into action to fight the infection. Unfortunately, Streptococcus is very sneaky and has special features to try to stop this from happening. He can try to hide from them inside a capsule. You can think of this as a disguise like a hat and coat. He has chemicals which kill the white blood cells, putting them out of action. And finally, he has special chemicals which break down the body's cells to get into the bloodstream and other areas of the body. Very occasionally, in an attempt to fight an infection, things don't go quite to plan and we develop sepsis. This is sometimes also known as blood poisoning. We start with an infection somewhere. In this picture, it's a chest infection. The bacteria then get into the bloodstream and spread throughout our body. Our immune system detects the bacteria and starts to fight the infection. It produces chemicals to try to kill the bacteria. Unfortunately, these chemicals can also make our blood vessels leaky and stop important organs such as our heart, kidneys and brain from working properly. This is called sepsis. So how do we know if someone has sepsis? Firstly, people feel very unwell with a headache or aching body. They usually have a high temperature and they may have cold hands and feet. They may have fast breathing, particularly as they become more unwell. They may be drowsy or difficult to wake up and even a bit confused. We've just learnt lots of things about sepsis. Shall we meet our friends again to go over what we've learnt?
Our immune system is our body's army to fight infection. Bacteria have sneaky ways to avoid our immune system. Sepsis is when you have a serious infection
Let's meet Harry. He's feeling poorly. He has a sore throat and the doctors are worried he might have developed sepsis. How are the doctors and scientists going to find out which bacteria is making him feel so unwell? Let's go on an adventure to find out how they do this. Harry's tonsils have white spots on them. This is where the bacteria are. The bacteria burrow through the tonsils and into Harry's bloodstream, where they hitch a ride all around his body, making him feel very unwell. Harry's doctor would like to catch some of the bacteria to find out the best way to treat Harry's infection, so he decides to do a blood test. Some of Harry's blood is collected in a syringe, and we can see that one of the bacteria has been captured. The blood is then put into a special bottle. Let's meet one of the scientists from Addenbrookes Hospital who's going to explain what will happen with the bottle containing Harry's blood.
Okay, so my name's Claire and I'm a scientist within the Microbiology laboratory. And today I'm going to talk about blood culture bottles. So when a patient is in the hospital and they think that they have an infection in their blood, they take their blood and they put it into a bottle. And the bottle looks like this. And the bottle contains a mixture which helps the bacteria grow. When we receive these bottles in the laboratory, we put them into a machine. And the machine looks like this. And inside we have lots of different stations where we put the blood cultures, and it's heated at 37 degrees. When the bacteria grow, they release a gas called carbon dioxide. And when we've got sufficient carbon dioxide in that bottle, it will cause the machine to flag red, just like this. When we've got a red light on our machine, we take that bottle off the machine and take the blood out of it using a syringe.
Harry's blood is then put onto a glass slide and mixed with special chemicals which turn the bacteria purple or pink so they can be seen under the microscope, just like the ones you can see here. The bacteria from Harry's blood are then grown on plates, just like we did with the swabs from the household objects. The scientists can then work out which is the right antibiotic to treat the bacteria with to make Harry better. We've just been talking about Streptococcus and how he can cause tonsillitis and sepsis. Now, I don't want you to worry that every time you get tonsillitis you'll get sepsis. Sepsis is rare, and if it's spotted and treated early, most people will get better. Here is Harry with his sister, fully recovered and having fun. So finally, let's just go over what we have learned.
Bacteria are everywhere. Our immune system is our body's army to fight infection. Sepsis is when you have a serious infection.
Thank you for watching. We hope you found this interesting and enjoyable. If you would like to find out more about sepsis, please visit the Sepsis Trust website.